Hello again, everyone. This is Louis Setti speaking as the Blue Ridge Reporter on this YouTube channel. This next sequence of presentations I think will be particularly interesting because of the nature of the story, not because of any skill by the Blue Ridge Reporter. And it has to do with the candidacy of the former governor of Massachusetts, Mr. Mitt Romney, and the comment made by a Southern Baptist preacher, Mr. Reverend Robert Jeffries, the fact that the former governor is a Mormon, and comments made by one Judd Gregg, a former United States senator. And Judd Gregg's comments were that the comments in turn previously made by Reverend Jeffries regarding Mormonism were in fact an exercise, a demonstration in what he called hate language. Now this is a particularly important story, not only for the immediate political consequences, which may in fact be the least important aspect of all, but also important for a demonstration of where the biblical Christian stands in the eye of those who dominate the media, those who dominate politics, where those genuine biblical Christians actually stand, what level of esteem or lack thereof do they enjoy in the culture in America today, what is in fact, based on a comment such as Mr. Gregg made, what in fact is our status in the United States today. And also this plays into the current political season when a Republican nominee is going to be selected ultimately. And where do Christians draw the line? Where do they continue in large measure to support the Republican Party? Or when do they say, as one famous prize fighter said, no mas, no more? And where does it end regarding the Christian loyalty among many of them, a seemingly unending loyalty to the Republican Party, if in fact Mitt Romney is selected as the nominee? All those things come into play. By way of explanation regarding this series, this may be a little choppy based on the YouTube format that I'm presently working on. I think it's safe for me to keep these individual presentations to 7 or 8 minutes, but there'll be more to say than can be covered in that time. So I'll be terminating each of these presentations, then going to the next. So there'll be a sequence of them. And it may not be the most professional point at which to break any particular presentation, but bear with me. I think the content more than the style of presentation is really the issue here. If you want to see this sequence, you'll see them labeled in what we might call a headline, hate language politics, with what we might call a subheadline, talking about Governor Romney, Mormonism, Judd Gregg, and the Southern Baptist Convention, and the Reverend Pastor Robert Jeffries. That's how you can identify them. All right? Well, let's move on now into the substance of the matter. The Washington Times reported under a date line of October 11, 2011, and with a headline that reads as follows: Gregg, anti-Mormon comments are hate language. And then the report goes on to say that former New Hampshire Senator Judd Gregg called the comments of Reverend Jeffries, quote, hate language, and noted that Judd Gregg, former senator from New Hampshire, a neighboring state of Massachusetts nearby, is in fact a supporter and has endorsed Mitt Romney. Now, the question becomes, what exactly did the Reverend Robert Jeffers say? And let's start with this. I went into the internet as best I could to find what Reverend Jeffers said. I hope I'm pronouncing his name correctly. At an American Values conference at which he endorsed and introduced the governor of Texas, Governor Perry, and said that, according to the Reverend, that evangelical Christians should choose Governor Rick Perry because he is a true born-again follower of Jesus Christ, thereby injecting into the campaign a specific kind of litmus test, and that Governor Perry is a professing born-again Christian. And then there was an interview I saw on the internet of Reverend Robert Jeffers, in which he spoke to a seemingly favorable interviewer, and the Reverend said that the Southern Baptist Convention, of which he was a part, had labeled Mormonism a cult, and that he said Mormonism is not Christianity, it is not a branch of Christianity, and went on to say, citing some American historical precedents, not that one would be limited to that, of course, that Christians have the right to prefer Christians over other candidates. Well, I'm going to break this particular one at this point. Then we'll continue with another presentation. Again, look for a headline labeled Hate Language Politics. This is Louis Setti, the Blue Ridge Reporter.